It's a recipe that clearly came from Eastern Europe, and it was a jelly roll. You'd roll it out to a jelly roll, and then you would cut it so that they'd be cookies. Today, I'm going to make my great Aunt Eva's cookies. And I'm going to make them in memory of my mother, who passed away a few months ago at 103. My mother's name was Pearl. If you go to Rhode Island School of Design, there's a Cafe Pearl named after her because she was the oldest living docent. And a recipe that she would make, especially when we were younger, and I loved to watch her make, were these Aunt Eva's cookies, which were basically a strudel, but not as thin as a strudel dough, filled with apricot jam or cocoa and cinnamon and sugar. And to me, these were like ambrosia. I think she remembered her mother and her aunt when she made them, and now, of course, I will remember my mother when I make them. The first thing that we're going to do is cut the butter. It's a lot of butter, but it's, you know, for dough to be good, it has to have a lot of butter. A more Americanized rendition of this recipe has cream cheese in it. Okay, and here's sugar. And I'm just going to cream this. Then we're going to put 2 eggs in. You want to use a separate bowl in case there's any blood in the eggs. And we'll put them in. Vanilla. A tablespoon of baking powder, and about 2 to 2.5 cups of flour. I'm going to take this out and put a little bit of flour. It's going to be very sticky. You want to roll it for a little bit. Let me just get... You'll take this, see how soft this dough is? But it's too soft to roll out. So you put it into 4 pieces and put each piece into a circle, into a ball. Wrap them and refrigerate them for a few hours or overnight, which I'll do. I'm going to do what my mother would have done. Instead of doing this on here, she would have taken this towel, a thin towel. She would have covered it with flour, like this is. Then she would have rolled out the dough. So you want to get this to be a little bit malleable with your hands at first. You really want this to be thin. Okay. So let's see. This is about 1/8 of an inch thin, about 11, let's say 11 by 12. So now what you do is you sprinkle, this is the cocoa. For some reason I really remember this one. Treat yourself. Use Guittard chocolate, cocoa, or any kind of good American cocoa. There's so many good ones, but whenever you're using chocolate, the better you use, the better it tastes. And then you just roll it up, because you've got this here. You can do it either way, really. So you just, because you've got it underneath, you've got flour underneath, See how? You put this on here, okay? And now I'm going to do another one with the jam. Treat yourself to a good quality jam. Don't get one that has too much water in it. Now I'm going to do this. And you know, some people put the ends in, but my mother never did. And then you just flip it onto the baking sheet. And it's going to spread. Don't be afraid if it's spreading. I'm going to put it 350-degree oven for about 20 or 30 minutes. And then we're going to taste it. All right, so now we have these. These are cooked. I'm going to wait for them to cool and then cut them in small pieces. So you can eat them like a cookie. So here we go. And here's the chocolate version of Aunt Eva's cookies and the apricot version that my mother, Pearl Nathan, made, who just passed away at the age of 103. And we will gobble them up.